actually have really long legs, hey?
Yeah, they had it dialed.
Okay,
That's squatting
we'll
straight
take
in
that.
Yeah, that is chilling. That's the weird thing about India. There's like so many people. There's just people kind of just standing there. Not like everywhere we went. There's like people just there. Like, what are they doing? Right. They're just on the side of the road. This is the middle of nowhere. There's no houses or shops, and they're just standing there. Like, are they waiting for a bus, or what are they? What are they doing?
Just waiting for a mate.
Yeah.
What, by themselves or in a group?
Oh, there's always a group.
Both.
A group.
Yeah.
There's a famous book that I know nothing about, but it sounds like when I say it, it sounds like I do know what it's about. It's called Sex at Dawn. It's about in Delhi how you'll never be, like, there's always someone around beside you. If you live there, there's 20 people in your house generally. So how do all these people have kids? Well, it's always at dawn, it turns out. It's always like that golden moment. Stretch it out.
Let's get it on.
I'm awake, you're awake, and everyone else is asleep, you know. That's how it happens.
We've got 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Make the most of it. But Delhi's what, 22 million people or something? In the city of Delhi, you know, so that's the entire population of Australia in one city. So it is crowded.
Do they beep? They still beep when, like, they don't use indicators, right? It's like beep, beep to indicate.
Everything like that. The beep, and it takes a while to get used to the beep in there's a lot of countries of the world that do that. But it just says, I'm here. It's not aggressive. Right. It's not get out of the way, and you're not expected to get out of the way. It's just, hey, I'm here. Keep your eye out. But
if you're staying in the hotel by the street, all you hear is beep, 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 beep. Shut the fuck up.
Beeping you. Big time.
As soon as you get on the road, that becomes your friend.
Really?
You know, we all got good at that.
I think Buddy said that if you don't beep and you have an accident with them, it's your fault. Because you haven't told them that you're there.
Right.
Yeah. So he said...
Trucks and shit have it on the back.
Yeah. The trucks have got on the big haulers, they got honk. Please honk.
Wow.
To come up there just to let them know you're there and that. So, yeah. So here I'm just beeping everyone. Just fucking, get out of my way, you could.
How hard was it getting home the first time you get in the car or on the bike? You just wanted to beep everyone.
Yeah.
Get out of my way. Out of the way, clown.
Had my hand on the horn ready to go.
Mad dog, you mad dog.
Yelling out the window. But yeah, none of them like yell at it. Like if you beep someone here on the coast, everyone's like, fucking get out of their car.
Yeah.
They want to, punch on or something like that. But, But they're just like, oh yeah, thanks mate. You know, just just cruise past and there you go.
So you plan this in advance, obviously, like to join a group. Something I've always wanted to do. I almost convinced some mates to do the Vietnam one. We won't talk about that, but you know these bike tours.
I've done that as well. Been to Vietnam, jumped on a tour through Vietnam on bikes as well. Same sort of deal, yeah. Anyone who wants to go travel, seriously, there's a lot of good tour groups that are awesome introduction to like third world countries, etc. You know, you don't have to go do it on your own. Yeah. And to be honest, you might as well be with some locals who are going to show you crap that you'll never see on your own. You know, that's the best thing about a guided tour. And I mean, you know, we're pretty useless. You know, when we want to go for a ride, no one makes any plans except, I don't know, meet around 9-ish, and where are we going? I don't know, it was just ride, you know. So the best thing is you get to India, and the moment we landed, we just turned our brains off because there was someone there to meet us, and the hotels were booked every night, and the food was ready every day, and the beer was there at the end of the day, and no matter what damage you did to your motorcycle, someone would fix it, and the next day you get back on it and ride it again until you broke it and someone would fix it. So
who fixed it? Did you take a mechanic with you?
There were 2 guides, 2 mechanics, a support vehicle, and the first 4 days, all part of the package.
Oh, wow.
And the first 4 days, a catering truck as well.
Catering.
Oh, catering.
Look at you, Nitro Circus, going from catering to catering.
And it was like we're in the middle.
Can't stop talking about your catering.
We're in the middle of nowhere. We're literally on a helipad in the middle of the Himalayas. Some of the best food I've ever had. Like, and I'm not because I was super hungry. It was legitimately
Indian
awesome.
style, just good,
just legit
vegetables, like straight off the wherever it was made.
4 dudes in a tent with not even tables, and little burners, and just cooking on the floor basically. Cooking curries and dals and bread. And
hey, I got a question for you then. What's for brekkie in India?
It's different.
Is it curry? That's what I was told. That's why I asked. Yeah.
It changes. From
scrambled egg most morning, to be honest, or omelette. Omelette, sir.
Omelette. Chili.
Say again? What?
Oh, omelette laced with chili.
Really? Everything's kind of spicy
curry,
all the time?
Real curry powder, yeah. I got one laced with it big time. I was dry reaching.
I think that might have been my one.
Fuck. I
was asked for extra.
Yeah. Oh, man, I was cooked big time.
So
I had the sweats just over an omelette, one little omelette.
Wow.
Oh, fuck.
I saw your photos. So online you've got lots of good photos there. So the Himalayas are obviously a little cold, but Delhi's a hot sort of climate, is that right?
Yeah, totally. Delhi's hot, but then you're into the Himalayas, and Manali's at 2,900 metres above sea level, and that's your base. That's where you start the ride. And we got up to 4,500 metres, and that day was bloody cold.
Yeah, the mornings, like during the day it warms up, but in the morning it was legit like cold. It was yeah.
Wow, man. You know the Crumman Valley where I live out there?
Yeah.
My house is 80 metres above sea level. And I used to have a little...
Any problem with altitude sickness?
Yeah. Well, can you sleep at night?
Funny thing.
There you go.
I used to ride a 50cc scooter for like maybe 3 months, and I had a little temperature gauge on it. The degree dropped 1 degree going through the valley. It got colder by 1 degree. It still does today in the car I drive.
Yeah.
So to think 4,000 metres.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll mess with you too. Altitude is hard work.
Yeah. How's the stitch up?
This altitude sickness.
Yeah. Here's the stitch up though. We're like when we were flying from Delhi to Dharamsala and then to Manali. Our tour guide Buddy was like, "Oh no, you guys shouldn't eat." Like we all had altitude sickness tablets, and he's like, "You've got to take them prior to actually going up altitude. You've got to take them while you're down low." And he's like, "No, you boys won't need it. That'll be fine." First night at altitude, I didn't sleep because your body goes into like shock. Like you don't know it is.
What is it? What happens?
Well, it's a lack of oxygen, so your body pretty much it starts going into shock. Like you don't feel stressed or anything.
Yeah.
It's just you can't sleep because your body's like, don't fall asleep because I think you're going to die.
Because the air's so thin that your brain starts telling you that there's not enough oxygen.
Yeah.
And so it keeps you awake.
So what does the altitude sickness tablet do?
Thickens your blood, basically.
Oh, okay.
Nah.
We
all went to the doctors first. We all got them, and then no one actually took them.
Yeah, literally. I had
except
like
Dr. Dan. Dr. Dan had a series of pills to take every day.
Dan.
Yeah, we did have a doctor with us.
Did you?
Yeah, Dr.
What
Dan.
a good setup.
No, not really. I'm not sure what kind of doctor he actually is. I'm not sure he is a doctor. I'm going to call bullshit on that.
Yeah.
Well, he came in hot with heaps of experience, having ridden a motorbike for 2 months before going on this trip.
No way.
And it says on the trip must have at least 2 years off-road experience, and he had 2 months riding a CBR 250 around the Gold Coast. And just a little side note, the first ride we went on, he almost crashed into the back of me at the first set of lights, and I'm just like, is this guy going to be sweet?
He's in the paid group.
Yeah, so basically the group, the way it all went with the booking and everything is we needed to have at least, I think it was 6 or 7 riders to get our own private tour. I was cool with going with other guys, but I really ideally would have loved it just to have my, group of mates. It's just better if it's just, only 7 of you. And, we managed to get the numbers, which was awesome because then our group was super small and we're all mates. So, whereas we saw other groups and it's like, 25, 30 dudes and stuff like that? Like,
too many.
That's just, and like, you'd just be...
Little gangs.
Or it'd just be a circus.
He's a wanker. That dude's over this.
Yeah, it's not just that. It's just having, like, we had to wait for friends and, like, people's bikes broke down and, shit just happens. And when you got 30 of you, there's such a high chance of that happening. So
and difference in experience.
Oh, it's massive. Yeah, massive. Yeah. But, at the end of the day, you're not there to ride fast, but still it's,
Because I was thinking, like, because I watched a bit on YouTube.
If you don't talk this mic.
Sorry, I'm sorry to do this.
Is this your first time? Microphones for talking into.
It's a phallic symbol she's scared of. Sorry.
Don't be scared, babe. Everything's going to be all right. Yeah, g'day. Yeah,
you still in school?
Okay, stop it.
Yeah, g'day, my name's Slippery.
I'm a bit off for slippery.
I would too. Far out.
Anyway, no, because I was watching it on YouTube and, like, because they weren't, well, like you said, it was, it just looked like someone cut into the mountain. So they're not sealed roads. They're not sealed. And, like, some of the places had, like, big, chunky rocks in the middle of the road. And some places were quite narrow. Like, I saw this bike go through and it was, like, maybe 1.5 metre wide. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit.
Yeah.
No, that's about
That's
right.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Landslides, I don't know, every half an hour when we were going up that mountain.
The road had just disappeared. There'd be nothing there.
Yeah, and I saw the waterfalls and everything. Yeah.
A lot of
like
water.
big puddles and everything where the waterfalls are. So I'm thinking, like, you know, if you didn't have experience riding on sealed roads, what the fuck?
Look at that.
The long and short of it is that Dr. Dan should not have been there. Like, that is...
I'm going to put this video on this... this page when we do it, right?
Yeah, sweet. That's Bruce, I think, leading front.
Oh, yeah. That's your
Look at that drop,
that's
though.
off my helmet, but Bruce is at the
Scary
front.
shit.
Man, and like, we all
And look
ride
how far
bikes.
it drops, too.
Even though you're totally in control, you all know those times where
Yeah.
something just happens. Something just happens. You hit that a rock and you roll and then you get off balance.
Yeah,
That's the problem. You could be off balance and not be able to do a damn
Hello,
thing.
dickhead, straight off the bloody...
Did you hear any
straight
stories
off the
about
cliff.
people? I'm talking, that must be like 400, if not 300 metres from...
from the river.
Red Tube just came up.
Oh,
on
look,
the
at
phone.
least, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But it's the funniest thing. Like, the first moment you get up onto one of those cliff roads, you look over the side and you go, "Shit, that's a long way down there. I better stay away from that." 10 minutes later, you've forgotten all about that.
Yeah.
I mean, you jump in a car now. You know, when we leave here, we'll get on bikes or jump in the car. It's not like you run into every gutter or every parked car or a tree or a guardrail. So just the fact that there's this drop there, you don't ride any differently. You just ride.
It's like on the highway, your death traps going straight at each other from 80 kilometres an hour.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't know, because I don't ride bikes. I ride pushies.
She hasn't even been to Iron.
And how many times did you crash your pushy today?
Well, not today, but I do, like, you know, if I ride over gravel, you just don't know where the wheel's going to take you sometimes if it's loose gravel, right?
Crashes, though.
So,
Weird crashes.
and if
Yeah,
you
we had
only had
crashes.
like 1.5 metre to kind of manoeuvre that instability.
Yeah.
It
That
sounds
would be
like you
fucking
shouldn't be on this trip.
I know.
Yeah, that's fine. We had you booked in for the next one too.
Just don't cancel it.
No, but I was just wondering, like, do you actually get to enjoy? Because the scenery is quite amazing when you can look at it, you know.
Yeah.
You did have to remind yourself every so often to actually take a look, because you were looking right in front of you. You were thinking, you know, where's the track? Where is the road? Where's the next hazard? But there's enough flat spots that you do turn around and look. You know, and in every single corner, and there must have been a million of the things, because it's non-stop windy, but every corner was a wow moment.
I saw one of your videos where, I think it was must have been your bike, Scotty, with your
Peace flags?
what are they?
Peace flags?
Yeah,
the
peace flags, are they?
prayer flags? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're actually getting into it. So what bikes were you riding? Did you get into the weird bikes? What do they give you?
Well, yeah, I'll give Max, because he's a technical bloke.
He actually knows things about motorcycles.
Not really. I'm a graphic designer. I don't know shit. So the Royal Enfields is what they give you, and there's 3 different types. So they have I think there's a classic, which was like the original kind of modern classic that they did. Like they kind of make them look like they're old bikes, but they're actually new.
I saw some recently, right?
And then
your old barista had one.
Yeah, I used to own one as well.
Yeah, right.
So,
Okay.
so that's kind of, and then there's a C5, I think it is, which is like the next one up, which is what Scotty was riding. And then the tour guides had what they call the Himalayan, which is like a dirt bike style, like way more of a dirt bike. It's not so much a classic. It's like, you know, just looks like a CRF or whatever you ride around here.
Okay.
But they're fully registered and
Road tyres?
like dual purpose. So more towards road than dirt. But I mean, I was surprised. Like even on the more road going Enfields, they handled the dirt fine. I couldn't believe it how we broke them, but they never felt super sketchy.
Okay.
Like I thought I'd be sliding around all over the place, because there's a lot of like soft dirt, a lot of mud, a lot of water crossings, and it just they actually handled it pretty well. I ended up swapping onto the Himalayan because mine was having some issues.
I can't remember your barista that
Sam.
worked at Sam. Sam got a. I remember him complaining about vibration. I think the bolts were coming loose. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. And that's the best thing about having two mechanics with us. The first thing they would do is run the spanners over every single nut and bolt on those things every night, tighten them up. Right. Yeah. But that, honestly, you'd need to do that on any bike that you took on those roads. Like, these were rough, without a doubt.
Okay.
So Royal Enfield, English company, used to make guns and then started making motorcycles.